Welcome back, everybody, to Waadaplaya retired out concussion subsidies. RCB are alive. Virat Kohli is back into action, and entire RCB community on our WhatsApp group, Anil, has woken up finally after 14 games. How did you enjoy the game today?
I did, two things. Even though Gujarat lost, I really enjoyed Hardik Pandya's batting approach. First thing, they lost couple of wickets, so he knew that they are under some pressure. So he managed to stabilize the team. So that was the first part of it. So really like to see the leader Hardik Pandya. The second one and the most important one, the way Kohli batted. It wasn't any kind of he's going into shell first and then trying to come out. From the word go, he was there. He was hitting Shami. The way he hit Rashid Khan for the six to reach 50, and after that again another straight six. I mean, it was brilliant. This is what we want to see Kohli. You support RCB or not, but the way Kohli bats, I mean, you're gonna enjoy the match no matter whom you're supporting. Yeah.
Absolutely. And it was a pretty crucial game for RCB, and they bowled extremely well, right? At,
Yeah.
at one point, they were looking at trending towards 180, but that phase between 15th through 18th over, Josh Hazelwood again comes back. He had a pretty bad game last game, Anil. But how do you think about the bowling performance of RCB? And they made one change. They dropped Siraj and they brought Sid in. Did you agree with that change?
Yes, I mean because Siraj wasn't really clicking, so they really had to try something different. And I know that Sid Kaul does not have a great IPL record, uh, but for his first match, I think he was couple of overs he was okay. For the first over and the fourth over, he went for some runs, but I think for some kind of experience, I think he should be back. With bowling, what happened is your main bowler Hazelwood, he clicked, he took couple of wickets. Then you have Hasranga, who is now the purple cap holder, and you also have Maxwell, who supported it. Unfortunately, Harshal Patel couldn't bowl. I think he had an injury. So everything clicked for in the first inning for RCB. They had couple of wickets in the power play. Uh, and then also at the later stage part of the they didn't allow Gujarat to just go mad, in the last 5 overs. So it really worked for RCB this time.
Absolutely, it worked. And from batting point of view, you already spoke about Hardik Pandya, but I personally felt that he played that bit slow on it. Did his
He he
innings?
did he did he did he did, but then he knew that they've lost couple of wickets, and he pointed this out in his presentation also. Like losing couple of quick wickets in a T20 is something could be really risky. So he wanted to make sure that at least there's some kind of support that trying to stabilize the inning. So that's what he did, and he thought David Miller is there, Rashid Khan is there, they were taking there, so they can try to score in the last 5 overs. But then unfortunately, you had David Miller also getting out, and you have Tewati also getting out. So that's what happened. So yeah.
Yeah. And then RCB coming out playing with such good intent, and Ajay rightly pointing it out. Probably 2-3 games ago they sent in, but is it little too late, or do you still stand by your prediction that they are through to the playoffs or will be through to playoffs?
Like I have less faith in DC. I think they've been a little volatile this season. I still feel RCB will qualify. I think Mumbai is gonna be able to beat DC. So yeah, that's what my prediction is. With respect to RCB batting, uh, it explains the season, the last ball that Maxwell, I think it went for boundary. They were living on the edge. It hit the top of the head and went for six, and that's what you explain about the batting. What clicked for RCB today is the top three main players. You have Faf, you have Kohli, you have Maxwell, all scoring.
Hmm.
If they would have batted a little better throughout the other season, I mean the other matches, they wouldn't have been in this position. If you look at the run rate, they're still at minus 0.25. So that explains that the other players have been able to contribute. If these three main players would have contributed a little bit more, then I think they would have qualified well.
Yeah. And it's a pretty happy day for Vishak. RCB won, and then he needs to support Mumbai, which is his another team, internal team.
Yeah.
Clearly, he remembers the 2018 pain in 2022, where he's telling, take revenge of 2018 when Delhi knocked you guys out. Amazing. And then speaking of Harshal Patel, I think that's a big blow for them. Looks like he is going to be out probably next match, Anil. If
Definitely, yeah. Yeah, I mean, we need. I mean, the RCB needs him. He's been one of the main players for the last season and this season also. He may not be in the wicket columns, but definitely he controls the main part of the innings. You know, the last part. So at least he does not allow the opposite side to go berserk in the last 5 overs. So I think he's very important.
Mhm. And what changed in Virat Kohli? I mean, you forwarded on the podcast of RCB this morning where he probably is at the happiest phase of his life. And today he looked like a different Virat Kohli on the field and also with the bat side, Anil.
Yeah, I mean, been dying to see that kind of Kohli. When he bats like that, I mean, there's so much of joy to find from the game. I think what was happening is that he was trying to also analyze a lot of things, and then he realized that he's getting out. Maybe it's just the way sometimes people get out. It's unlucky. Today he had bit of a luck. There were a few inside edge, and you need that. And the other strikes, I mean, that he did, he wasn't trying to cover his fourth step or trying to leave those balls against Shami. So this is a typical Kohli. I think it was always there. Something happened. I don't know exactly. But again, to see the original Kohli, I would like to see another innings of him when they have an eliminator match. Yeah, I'm still saying RCB is going to qualify. So
Excellent.
in the next match
Excellent.
also he needs to play similar innings.
Yeah, most definitely. And from a Gujarat Titans point of view, they went unchanged, which is understandable. I've always been saying that Hardik Pandya's captaincy is Mahendra Singh Dhoni's school of business. Like he probably blindly follows him, so no risk taking. So is that probably the right strategy of Gujarat going into the playoffs, not changing the playing 11, or should they have given somebody else a chance and get a little bit of a fresh legs?
No, I mean they're almost there. So a match, a day of rest wouldn't have really helped. I mean Gujarat does not have any other matches, so the next match they're going to play is going to be the qualifier, right? So just a day of rest wouldn't have helped. In a way, it's good for Gujarat because now they know that what went wrong. They don't have to lose wickets in a continuously manner. So they know and they understand what were the weakness, so they can cover it now. Lockie Ferguson wasn't in his best of the form, so he knows he has to work on it. So I think it was a good tactic to have your strong team to play this match and see if everything is still clicking or not.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Interesting. And so tomorrow's and day after games are going to be crucial. Tomorrow is Rajasthan Royals versus Chennai Super Kings. Mind you, Rajasthan Royals is still not qualified and they are risk of, you know, elimination. Anil, will they if they lose tomorrow?
Um, I thought Rajasthan is qualified, right? They are 16 points. I mean, if they're going to lose really badly, like 120 odd runs, 150 odd runs, then I think they will be much more confident to win this and be at second position. Because if they win this, I think they qualify to be as the part of the top two teams.
So they are on 16. They haven't qualified. Only GT and LSG formally. Rajasthan Royals on 16 with a superior run rate. If they lose the next game, they'll stay on 16, and then say Delhi Capitals win, they come on 16. So it comes down to Royal Challengers Bangalore, DC, and RR based on the run rate is how I'm seeing.
Yeah, but run rate of Rajasthan, I think is it's point 0.3 right now. So for them to lose, it has to be I think more than 120 odd runs, which
Yeah,
seems very difficult given their form. So more likely, I think they're going to be remain at second or remain at third, or in fact, we become the second team, the two team.
absolutely. And Ajay PK and Vishal are going on praying for Mumbai like that auntie used to pray in the ground. So I think they both will continue to pray until Mumbai wins it, which is totally understandable. Yeah, RCBians either have calculators or prayers. Those are the two weapons they have to go into the playoffs. But from Gujarat Titans' point of view, Anil, pretty ordinary game. I think they were what 20 runs short if you look at it hindsight. So if they were to replay this, the run out, they couldn't do much. But what could they change if they have to replay this match in terms of preparing for the playoff? Because the middle office weakness, sorry, middle order weakness definitely got exposed today.
Definitely, I think they would have been. They would have tried to at least, play some of these some of these bowlers. So you have Hazelwood, you have Hasranga. So if they would have managed to play those 8 overs, and I think the next 12 overs they could have scored little better. They tried to go against Hasranga. They tried to go against Hazelwood, and this is where they lost the wickets. Yeah.
Hmm, good stuff. And and somebody's asking, Aniruddha is asking about Sunrisers, which is off topic. Ken Williamson definitely is going to be a big question mark, but I'll doubt if they release him. Anil, do you think they will make such a big decision going into next year?
I think it has to be mutual. It can't be just one-sided, given Williamson's records and his caliber. If Williamson feels that he's not up to the form or he's not able to lead, then he should mention this to the management. I think they need to have an open talk. They can't have another fiasco like Warner. So I think they just need to have an open talk about it. Yeah.
Yeah, I really hope that it doesn't come down to that. I don't think they will touch Kane Williamson at least for another 2 years because if they have retained him, they probably had an agreement of 3 years. And he's a class player. I know he had a very rough IPL season, but he's a class player. And guess what? Virat Kohli is the player of the match. Finally,
Yeah.
I think all tick
Yeah.
boxes went for him today, which is perfect. Hopefully,
Correct.
so they technically have three more games for the cup. So hopefully he
Yeah.
keeps the momentum for three more games, which is eliminator and then a qualifier
Qualifier
out, and then a
and then
final.
the final.
But do you feel RCB cannot get to two, can they? Or is number three the best they can go to?
No, I think they will be at number four only. They have a negative rate.
Okay. So they will have to play the eliminator and qualifier. All right.
I
Either
think which
case,
is perfectly fine given RCB's form, right? So I mean, if you look at where RCB has been, like I mentioned, it's been the other team players who have provided the support. Now this would be a perfect 3 games for Faf, Kohli, Maxi to show what they mean. I mean, to show what they exactly are capable of, and win it for the RCB fans. The World Cup. I mean, the T20 IPL Cup.
absolutely, absolutely. And Ajay PK is missing Adi, the forward short leg. He'll be back for a Sunrisers game, Ajay. Don't worry about it. Excellent. Anil, thanks for hopping on. I'm glad that you enjoyed the RCB win. RCBians, enjoy while it lasts. Three more games to go before the cup, and the pod will continue whether RCB wins or no. So hopefully, Ajay, if RCB wins the game, we are expecting you to come here, whether you're drunk, crying, or happy. Don't care, but you need to be on the pod if RCB is winning the cup this year. Anil, is that a popular demand?
Yes, definitely,
Excellent. Great.
definitely.
Great. Thanks for engaging. And folks who have followed us, just drop us a like, comment, and share and subscribe and tell your family and friends. Until tomorrow's game, see you later. And Anil, have a great night.
You too, you too. Thank